Awesome. We are live. I'm sorry, this is so awkward. Can you just give me a second? I just want to talk to this. Just a sec. I'm just going to talk this through. Can I chat with you for a sec? Yeah, no, you watching online. So, all right, listen. It's no surprise that video is taking over the internet, like literally taking over. You know you need video on social for your business. But, I mean, let's face it, you also have tons of other things on your plate. So this summit, this is for you. This is where we cut to the chase. We give it to you straight. We focus on what's actually relevant today, not like 10 years from now, today. And this is where you're going to learn exactly what you need to know to be successful with social video. Got it? So let's get started. My name is Jason Shao. I'm the Chief Video Officer of Animoto. And this is the Social Video Marketing Summit. All right, everyone, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited about what we have lined up for you guys today. I was so excited, I literally couldn't sleep last night. That's why I have my baggy eyes. But I really just want to dive right into things. So listen, okay, you guys know that one of our main goals with this summit is to not just be one of these places that talks the talk about stuff. We want to be the ones that give it to you straight, that tell you exactly what you need to know, so you're actually empowered and equipped to actually go out and be successful with video, right? So we're going to get started very soon with the one and only Gary Vee, which I'm so excited about. He's here right now. He's getting ready. I'm first going to bring on a couple of our other presenters. I'm going to be speaking just after him. My dear friends, Sue Bryce and Brian Peters. Why don't you guys come on up? So I'm going to formally introduce them later, but you guys probably already know them. I just want to just quickly kind of set the stage, because when I kind of just reflect on everything going on, it's crazy how fast-paced everything is. It just seems like every year there's something new, something different. But what's really incredible about these two is they really were the ones that saw the potential of video, I feel like, before it was even all happening. And so I just want to ask them a couple questions as we're kind of getting ready here. So Sue, I know really like you were one of the people that really saw the potential of video before everyone else was even doing it. So can you just take us back to that moment when that light bulb clicked in your head and you're like, video is really going to change everything?
Well, I had a dream, this really weird dream. I woke up in the morning and I called a friend and I said I had a dream that video is the future of stills photography and business. And he said, well, luckily Canon just invented the 5D Mark II that shoots high definition video. And I owned that camera the next day. Perfect. So they launched it that day. I dreamed it that day. And I had zero video skill, but I think I had a narrative skill. Like I could tell stories. So I just really learned to tell a story with my video. So on my presentation after this, today, I'm actually going to show the very first video I ever made, which was really shonky, but it had such a powerful narrative that I felt like it was strong enough to carry me through. So, and also if you understand how rudimentary it was and how sort of badly it was made, and yet it still speaks so well, then you'll understand that it's achievable. And that takes the scariness away.
Yeah. And Brian, with you, so I mean, so you are the digital marketing strategist at Buffer. So you guys have been really kind of on the forefront of seeing everything that's just happening with marketing, how fast things are changing. But just on the personal front, I mean, we've seen firsthand just how video is changing just everything. So what are some of your kind of early recollections of when you knew that video was really changing things?
Yeah, absolutely. So believe it or not, I was old enough to remember the Blockbuster days, right? You go to Blockbuster, rent a physical movie. It's crazy. And now we're binge watching Stranger Things in a day, right? So video is, and that's long-term video or long-form video content, but video is changing the way that we consume content, the way we think about what we're putting out as marketers, as brands. So it's just amazing to see how far video has come and the way that people consume video has come over even the last 10 years. So
yeah, I remember, what was that show that my wife and I were trying to binge watch 24, and we were trying to cram it all on a weekend. And so every 2 hours I had to it was my job to put on my clothes and run across the street, or run across 6 blocks of Blockbuster, change the DVDs and go back. And it's crazy that, I mean, it seems like an eternity ago, but that was 10 years ago or something like that. So it's just crazy. And then, so Sue, let me ask you a couple more things. So I know for you, I think in the early days when people, and early days is like just a few years ago, when people were thinking about, oh, what you could do with video, like, oh, would you just do video ads and stuff. But for you, like the potential of video was way more than just kind of like trying to sell your business. Tell me a bit more about like what you saw in that potential of video, of like how it's different from everything else.
The one thing with video I think that changed my world the most is you can't hide from the world when you're in the video. And so many technicians and entrepreneurs, and specifically technicians that just want to create or craft a product that don't necessarily want to be the face of their company, are suddenly on the video. And I resisted that. I think the biggest part of me was I didn't want to be the face of my own brand, and yet the brand is my name. So if anything, I think what you got to try and do is stop hiding, and then all of a sudden you're confronted with being the face of the actual brand that you invented anyway to become the face of, and you're hiding from it. So we've got to get you out from behind the computer. And so many people think they're marketing, like I'm on Facebook every day interacting, but you're not, because you're not putting yourself, your real self out there. And that's what video is going to pull you out from behind the desk. It's going to expose you for who you are, and then that's going to make you really look at who you are, what you're giving, what you're writing, what your stories you're telling, and what you're showing, and it will transform you. So by thrusting you forward into a stage, it's going to transform you. Actually, that's pretty much my whole talk. No.
Yeah. Okay,
that's where I'm going though.
So I just wanted to quickly introduce you to Brian. We're going to be bringing them back in just a second. We're going to be bringing out Gary Vee soon, but let's have you guys step aside. I'm going to introduce Gary, and then we're going to get started. All right? So thanks to Stuart and Brian. All right. I'm so excited. Okay, so like I said, you guys know that the spirit of this whole thing is there's so much stuff out there where they're just kind of like talking the talk, but what we care about is that you actually can walk out of here equipped and informed with what you need to actually be doing video and be successful with it. And when I think about our next presenter, he is literally the living embodiment, the heart of that message, because he is not just out there talking about what he thinks he should be doing on social media and video. He's actually the one doing it, and he's not actually just the one doing it. He has been the one for the last several years really pioneering, really just forging the way of what the rest of us should be doing on social media and with video. And what we love about our next presenter is he gives it to you straight. He's constantly pushing the boundaries of what is possible, and he's just been an incredible inspiration to countless numbers of businesses and marketers around the world. So, without further ado, can you please help me give a huge warm welcome to Mr. Gary Vee.
Where I'm supposed to stand. Thank you so much for that. Super thrilled to be here. And when I hear that setup, it puts me in an interesting mindset right away, which is I'm obsessed with being the architect and the plumber, right? I've got so many things going on, so many exciting opportunities, but literally, this is not a joke, why that setup was so funny. I literally asked for 1 more minute backstage so that I could post my current piece of content on Instagram, and I wanted to get the hashtags right, and so I needed to concentrate for another 60 seconds. And I think legitimately it's ironic I didn't realize that would be the setup. That is the punchline. The punchline is very simple. All of us know here, all of us know watching at home right now, that there's something going on, right? Whether you want to call it digital or social media, these are just words, right? Like I always love in these moments to say, there is no social media. That is the slang term that we've all accepted as what I would call the current state of the internet. And when you accept social media as a slang term for the current state of the internet, now you've got a more interesting debate with me around, do you take the internet seriously? To me, whether it's Facebook or Snapchat or MySpace or the thing that happens next, that's irrelevant. The one thing that we are all battling for is attention. What we're talking about here is attention. Attention arbitrage, attention opportunity. And then what we're talking about is the creative variable that it takes to get somebody to donate to your cause, to buy your sneakers, to hire you as a real estate agent or a photographer, to vote for you for mayor. This is all as basic as it gets. As somebody had figured out a long time ago that they were really good at carving pictures inside a cave that made people do things, that is literally, and I'm not kidding, exactly what we're talking about here. The problem is we all get screwed up when the medium changes, because we like it the way we knew it to be. So when the medium changes, you have these moments, this tension, this excitement, this concern, this curiosity. And we are living in the thick of it, whether you like it or you don't, AKA whether this is helping you win or this is taken away from things that you were winning at. There is no debating that all of us will look back one day, and long after we're gone, they will look back at this 30, 50-year era where everybody would take a step back and realize this is way bigger than Facebook video or filters on Snapchat. This is when the internet impacted us as a human race and changed everything forever. What's happening at a geopolitical level, a financial level, whether you want to go as deep as like decentralization, cryptocurrency, blockchain, Trump, Brexit, many other things, break off of countries. I mean, you're seeing real stuff. You know, in the social media world, we used to talk about Arab Spring and Zappos and the Comcast customer service, right? Like, you've all heard it. When I tell you that this has just started, this has just started. Like, if you think a lot has happened in the last 10, 12, 15 years, all the things we debate around the table as entrepreneurs or aspiring creatives, nobody's sitting here right now or watching at home or watching the recording of this if you're not curious, ambitious, you know, focused on what's actually happening at a macro and what opportunity that means to you and or your family. This is just starting. And so why I get passionate to do things like this is it comes down to practitionership. It comes down to the ability to do. First, you've got to make the religious belief, decision, strategy that this is actually happening and this is not a sprinkle or a nice to have or a curious little thing that's emerging, which is what I did a decade ago. A decade ago, I was like, this, right? This world, this device is going to become the remote control of our lives, not of our content, of our lives, and everything that happens in it is gonna matter. And when you start realizing almost 50% of people's time on this device is spent on a social network or content platform distribution, all of a sudden, all this stuff gets really real, really fast. And I think we've quantified its extreme power at a cultural level, but we still lollygag on how important it is because maybe we'll run a Facebook ad on a picture or video that didn't work and we make a binary decision that this stuff doesn't work. And so I have spent a lot of time over the last decade trying to understand where the attention of the end consumer is. Not going to be, not was. As I stand in front of you right this second, I debate every single opportunity to tell a story, to create an action, whether it's the good part of me for charity water and for Pencils of Promise, or to help my brother's disease and the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, or for the narcissistic part of me that I want to be popular to all of you for the rest of time, or a short-term financial reason for VaynerMedia to sell a pair of sneakers or some wine for my dad's business. It's just still binary. Where is the attention? Where is it overpriced? Where is it underpriced? What could we be doing that's a waste of our time and money? What should we be doing that is a land grab? I actually think of it as real estate. I want to remind everybody, somebody bought the land that we're on right now for $1. It was a long time ago, but somebody paid nothing. I don't know if you've seen the Louisiana Purchase Agreement or some of the other great transactions in real estate history. My friends, that is what people are gonna say about what we're doing digitally. It just is. It's gonna be 100 years from now, but it doesn't make it any less true that right now, I think everybody is grossly underestimating how much time is spent on Facebook and Instagram and how much they overestimate people spending time on other places. And if you believe that truth, well, then you've got to start becoming a real storyteller, creator, executor. Use whatever adjective makes you feel comfortable. I love talking about personal brand because people get mad at that term. I'm like, cool, call it your reputation. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Whatever word you want to use for making a picture, a video, or written words on platforms where people spend their time, do that to make yourself comfortable so that you can actually start doing it. While people debate philosophically adjectives, I'm out here fucking executing. And everybody else who is doing that as well is winning, and everybody else who's debating it is losing. And when I say winning and losing, I mean the binary game of, are you emerging in the consciousness of who you're trying to talk to, or are you declining? And so now let's take it to where it matters. What matters at the end of the day is if you agree with me binarily that it's happening here, now the question becomes, what are you gonna do about it? First thing you need to do is everybody in here needs to take a step back and get really self-aware really quickly. Because self-awareness and empathy are the two pillars that will make you successful. These are the two things I do that nobody sees because of my persona, because of other alpha characteristics I have. They're the disguised superpowers that have gotten me here today. When you have empathy, you actually care more about what the other person is thinking and consuming than the selfish needs you have. An incredibly good tactic and strategy if you're producing content, right? And then, if you understand and really respect self-awareness, there's a lot of things I wish I was, right? I wish I was a little taller, right? I wish I could throw a ball harder. There's a million things I can talk about, right? But the reality is, a long time ago, through amazing parenting and the serendipity of being an immigrant at the right time, I got real self-aware real fast and started triple downing on what I was versus pandering to everybody else. And so the security and confidence and all the other things that were put into me allowed me to be good at this game for the last 10 years. And the reason I'm stressing such an EQ kind of fluffy thing to you, it is the framework that will allow you to be successful. You may not be as good at writing as you want to be. You may not be as awesome at taking pictures as you dream to be. You may not understand how to post-edit video as much as you aspire to be. Once you understand those things, or maybe you're so remarkable at writing, but you've never had the confidence to really fully go there because you didn't have great parenting, because you didn't grow up in an environment that encouraged it. But if I can do anything, listen, something I figured out a long time ago with my public appearances, I'm here for one person. I don't know if it's one of you lovely faces or the thousands that are gonna watch this. I'm here for one person. If I can suffocate the reality of the situation on one of you right now to truly take a step back and actually execute on what actually is happening here, it would be a remarkable accomplishment. And I get those emails every day. I live for the email from you. I saw you and this thing and this, because that's what it is. It is strategy. Either you have the right strategy or you have the wrong one. And unfortunately for so many of us, I come here with gratitude out of the circumstance of parenting and environment that I was given, and I'm driven by gratitude. I sit here trying to deliver on the gifts that I was given because I literally am guilty. I feel guilt on how good I had it. It didn't seem the case when everybody said I was gonna be a loser because I got D's and F's, and in the 80s and 90s, there was no entrepreneurship. What college you went to was the binary decision maker of were you good or not in society. But even then, I faced that and was me. And those skills allow me the enormous honor of standing here and having people actually give a shit of what I have to say. And so in all that mix that I just pounded, please understand the following. You have to figure out what kind of storyteller you are. You have to figure out what kind of storyteller you are. Are you a director? Are you a producer? Are you a creative director? Are you the painter? Are you the set builder? In 3 ways that we communicate in society, the written word, audio, and video, you need to figure yourself out. You need to either surround yourself, maybe you're a general contractor, maybe you do nothing. I would argue, well, I guess video I do, right? Put a camera in front of me and this happens, right? But I can't write. I have a full-time writer. I've written 4 New York Times best-selling books. I can't put 2 sentences together. If any of you have emailed me, you're like, what the fuck? I can't spell, I don't understand sentence structure at all, and my middle name should be run-on sentence, right? Like, I can't do it. It's why emojis have been awesome for me, you know? And instead of worrying about that and spending ungodly amounts of time and taking creative courses on writing and trying to fix my weakness, I just was so good at my strength that it afforded me to hire a full-time ghostwriter who can take what I'm saying right now and create a Medium or LinkedIn post, ask me 5 questions to follow up on some of the themes here, I answer them, convert it to first person, and it is me, and it is out in the world. And so you need to decide, are there things, do you understand the copy that it takes on a Facebook or Instagram post to actually make people see it? Do you understand the first 3 seconds of a video to make it successful? Do you understand the art of the science before the art itself? Which is an unbelievable subtlety that nobody wants to speak to. Are we gonna continue to trade on the subjective nature of one's point of view? Or are we gonna stop and take a step back and finally respect the market that we never ever respected and we disrespected in marketing and creative world because we used to do everything in a silo and just put it out and it was what it was. We now have these incredible tools and platforms to allow us to listen. For all my talking, I spend almost all my time listening. I read every one of your comments, all the engagement, all of it, all the qualitative. You can keep your likes and shares. They're a nice proxy. I look at them, but they've become people's religion over the actual game, which is the qualitative brand sentiment around what you're doing. I don't trade on how many followers I have or how viral a post went. I trade on the sentences that you leave for me on every piece of content, and I build on that listening, and I build on that listening. And I trade on confidence. I'm not scared to make a piece of content that people don't like. I'm not scared to mix up my music from hip hop to sentimental. I'm willing to do anything because I need the learnings. And my misfortunes and mistakes and not highly engaged posts are mine, not yours. And so I ask you to take a step back and really start figuring out that this is an incredible shift. This is the biggest shift in our society since the printing press. That Facebook and Instagram absolutely are the platforms. Snapchat for under 30, incredibly successful. It's not dead. Has it been dented by Instagram features? Of course. LinkedIn emerging incredibly well on B2B content as they continue to evolve. And tomorrow, Twitter may have an update that fundamentally changes its platform that makes us now have to jump in. And this is why somewhere last year I changed it from let's market in the year that we live in, which was my big rallying cry, to let's start day trading attention. Because what I realized was, oh my God, this is now day to day. Tomorrow somebody can have an update on a platform, on YouTube or a podcast or another platform over here or invent. There's 2 girls in Kansas City right now who may invent the visual platform that we all trade on in 4 years. This is day trading. A month before Instagram created all the features that Snapchat had, I made a video saying Instagram's in trouble. Facebook's younger than people think and at scale. Snapchat's emerging incredibly quickly and starting to get into the 30-year-old demo. Where does Instagram sit? And then they made a couple updates and then it changed. Sports, adjustments. It's like tennis. I like tennis a lot. Who likes tennis? You know what I love about tennis? When you look at a tennis match score and you see 6-love and then 1-6, I'm always like, what the hell happened? Right? Because it's so mental. It's such subtle adjustments. Every day, I obsessed around your eyes and your ears and how they navigate your brain and your heart. And every day I watch what's happening in culture. Why is slime working with 8-year-old girls? What's happening over here? What's happening over there? What platforms are working? And let me tell you what the punchline of my last 3 years are, whether I'm right or wrong. But I can make you this promise. Everything that baffles people was unfolding in these social networks, and it was black and white. Everybody who's stunned, I surely wasn't stunned with the election results. I surely wasn't stunned that Nike and Under Armour have been shocked by Adidas and collaborations in sneaker. I wasn't shocked by much because it's right in front of us. It's just that everybody wants to talk and nobody's spending enough time to listen. Empathy. You want something good to happen for you? Start caring way more about what the other person's getting out of the transaction, and a funny thing will happen. You'll start getting yours. Cool. That's my thesis. Now, I'd love, since we're here together, to take some of the audience members. I'll repeat the questions for the people watching at home. I'd love to get even more tactical. There's a chance we'll never be able to be in front of each other again. This is your chance to get super selfish in the micro, because a lot of times the question works for 80% of the audience. Is there anything I can answer at a tactical level for anybody here? Yes, dear. What's your name?
Marianne.
Marianne.
So if I had invested in real estate 100 years ago, I would be at another stratosphere.
Correct.
So what should we be investing in now for our future?
So I think the question becomes of what should you be investing?
Social media.
Yeah, attention, AKA sound, voice. The next, this is not a 100-year answer because in 100 years, who the hell, right? In the next 5 years, I would tell you the biggest thing that's going to impact everybody here and everybody watching, sound, voice, is the first thing I've seen that is a platform that reminds me of social. Let me explain. I believe in 5 years from today, every one of you will be interacting with a voice-activated AI machine that is dictating your life way more than you can imagine. So I'm talking Amazon Alexa, I'm talking Apple HomePod, I'm talking Google Home. For everybody here, if you can figure out how to be successful, and this is why I've been spending so much time on my podcast. How many of you actually here consume my content? Raise your hand at any level. Thank you, it's awesome. Okay, cool, that was awesome. Wish I asked that earlier. How many of you in the last year have started listening a little bit more to my podcast and watching a little less video? Raise your hands. Those hands, which is a lot. That was more than 50% of the hands that just went up. Sound. How do you build a skill? How do you build a briefing? What is an Amazon skill and briefing? Instead of asking me that, you go and search on Google or YouTube, either learn by reading or you learn by watching. You can easily type in how to build an Alexa skill, what is an Amazon briefing, get educated on those, and if there's any way, shape, or form you think you can start a podcast, I highly recommend it. There's a company called Anchor. I did not invest in it, but I've been talking a lot about it. Everybody thinks I'm an investor because I talk about it. I talk about it because I want to be historically correct, not because I invested in it. Anchor is an incredible consumer app where it's voice, but it also now hit a button and it uploads your podcast to Apple and Google, which is super hard when you're a creative and you need to do all the uploading and technical stuff. So already there's an app out there that makes it easy. Interviewing people is the easiest thing in the world if you, at its most basic, if you can't figure out what to do on your podcast. But if you have any ambition to build a personal brand or a brand for your company, I'm a very, very big believer in podcast. It's funny to watch old become new. We're living through, I believe we're gonna live through the next revolution of radio, drive time radio. We've lived through it. How many of you are listening to more podcasts today than you did 24 months ago? Raise your hand. That's it. And let me tell you why voice is gonna win. Time is everything to us. Besides health, family, money, and religion, the fifth pillar is time. It's the other asset in our lives, and sound saves us time. You're able to listen and do something else. And that passive nature of consumption and our ability to multitask as we're getting, the brain is super misunderstood. We have a lot more capabilities in us than we realize. We're able to multitask a lot more than we realize. We just haven't been stretched. Sound is gonna do that. You're gonna listen to all these podcasts while you do. Commuting, while you work. There's just so many reasons why voice, plus the fact that I can say, Alexa, order me toothpaste. And it does it in 1 second. When I thought about it, no opening your notes to pick up toothpaste at Dwayne Reed on the way home. No. Alexa, order me toothpaste. And so if you have a way to create a podcast, I would highly recommend it. And then don't think narrow. If you're a photographer or real estate agent, level it up. I call it the Wine Library TV rule. I didn't want to sell wine on Wine Library TV. I wanted to become America's wine guy, which is why it worked. I panned my own wines that we sold in our store because I wanted to win your trust. Sure, you want to get hired for something, but if you become a thought leader and you interview thought leaders, competitors. I reviewed Costco wine and Trader Joe wines and said they were great, which took money directly out of our pocket, but it built trust. So bring value, empathy, 51-49. Give the other party the majority, figure out how to make something out of the 49% you give. That is the leverage, and all of you know, everything you see in your feeds is the other way around. Everybody wants, everybody's selling. Sign up for my course, work with me, give me your attention, give me your money. They've got the value exchange wrong. One more questions real quick. Yes?
I have a podcast. I've been doing it for about 10 years.
10 years.
And I wonder, because I do see it still as, we're just now getting our feet wet.
Yes.
You talk about listening. How do you get the audience to engage? What's the best way to get them into the audio mix?
I think to get more people to listen to audio or the ones that are in it.
Like I've been trying to say, hey, call the voicemail line
Yep.
because I want to hear their voices.
Yep.
They're real timid about the whole audio coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you have to force people into the chamber of feedback. If you look at drive time radio over the last 30 years, only 1% of the listeners are calling in. And those are big, so you have to have a big show to get 1%, right? If you only got 1,000 listeners, that 1%'s a small group, and are they listening today? So, one, you should wrap your head around the fact that only 1% are gonna engage. And once you do that, you just wanna build your audience as big as you can to get to the numbers that you're looking for. I think asking questions, making them not have to call in, I think maybe asking them to tweet the questions and then you're the voice of it, right? A lot of times we try to make people do things on our terms. I've spent a career of just looking at what you actually do and making myself fit into your terms. I'm not happy that audio is emerging. I wasn't happy that social media came along. I wasn't happy that Google AdWords came along. I figured out email and Web 1.0. It was 1996, I figured it out. 90% open rates on email, right? E-commerce, I won. Then Google came and I said, crap, this looks real. So I became a great Google AdWords player. Then that changed my business dramatically. Then this YouTube thing came. I didn't want to make content in video form. I never thought of myself as a creator. I was a 30-year-old businessman at that point who'd built a real business. I didn't think of myself as talent or out here like this, but I saw it was gonna be a thing. And I couldn't afford to hire an actor for the wine store, so I was like, I'll do it. And then I learned that. I didn't want Twitter to come along. And I figured that out. You got it? On your terms, on the world's terms. The market's always right, not you. Do I have to go? I know you guys were trying to wrap me up. All right, one quick one. Let's sneak it in.
All right, we came from North Dakota. Just asking us.
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, if you could go back being 18, knowing
Yes.
what you know now,
Yes.
what would you do differently to get where you are?
The only thing that comes when I think about what would I do differently at 18 than what I've done to get here is a tough answer. The true answer is nothing, because I'm too happy right now to take the chance of doing something different. The thing that populates in my head is the thing that populates in my head is also the same answer to the one thing I would have 100% done again. So it's a real classic contradiction, and that's who I am. Which is, I don't think I would have went into my family business. Because in so many ways, professionally, it held me back. I spent my first 13 years building a business for my dad. I left the business at 34 years old with no equity in it. I didn't pay myself a lot of money because we poured it all into the business. And I was 34 years old and had no money on paper, no money really to do. And I built a huge business. And watching a lot of 20, 30-year-olds build their businesses right now and have all the things they had, I feel like in a lot of ways, I had a really substantial, setback, to be very frank. Plus, I had to deal with the years of your dad, or now the bullshit trolls that say, well, his dad gave it to him. My dad didn't give me anything. My dad gave me the opportunity to build his business for him. So as you can imagine, getting razzed for having a head start when I had an enormous setback financially isn't so fun to swallow. At the same token, it's the only thing I would do, because those years with my dad, I would have never known my dad. Just wouldn't know him. He was a workaholic. His business and his job is his life. And I had, 12 substantial years, 24/7, 365, and I have amazing memories. And to be very frank, I feel great that I did that for my family, because what they did for me before I did that for them. So I feel like I settled that score, I have zero regrets, my man. I really do. And I would give the advice that I give to every young person, and if you follow my stuff, if you came to North Dakota, my pillar besides empathy and gratitude is patience. Too many kids under 30 want to get there so fast, and it breaks them because they shortcut, and they create the vulnerabilities that don't allow them to get there. So I would have just looked my 18-year-old self in the face and said, your intuitions are right. Do this, do that, exactly right. You'll be real happy.
Thank you.
You got it. Thank you, guys.
Give it up one more time for Gary Vee. Woo! Oh man, it's funny. I have to admit, every time I hear Gary speak, it's oh man, how do I explain? It's kind of like I have a pain in my rear end, because it's kind of like you just got kicked in the arse, but it's like in a good way, It's kind of like he kind of rips your heart out and puts it back in, but then you're a better person. But anyway, it's just so appreciate everything, all the wisdom and advice he gave. So thank you so much, Gary. You're so awesome. Okay, we're going to move right along. Our next guest, I'm extremely excited and privileged to introduce. This is Brian Peters from Buffer. Buffer, as many of you know, is a social media platform that has incredible tools, really must-have tools for social media marketers. Tools, everything from publishing to analytics to brand monitoring. But Buffer is also really well known for the incredible content that they produce. I mean, they put hundreds of hours into their research, into their studies, into the tests they do. And the reason why Brian is literally one of the most important voices right now in social media marketing is because he is offering a perspective, a first-hand, hands-on perspective. He's not one of these people that just talks the talk. He's doing it. He's putting just hours into the research, into the studies, into the tests, and he can back up anything he talks about with the actual results. And when you can back up what you're talking about with the numbers, that is incredibly powerful. So, without further ado, please help me give a huge welcome to Brian Peters.
Following up Gary Vee, no pressure, no pressure whatsoever. Thanks for the awesome intro, Jason. It's amazing to be here. If we take one takeaway today, it's the power of video. I mean, we're doing a Facebook live with an actual audience. I was checking out the numbers already. We're over 1,000 live viewers currently. So, like Jason said, right? Yeah, a little clap for that. So, like Jason said, my name is Brian Peters. I'm the digital marketing strategist at Buffer. I have the pleasure of doing everything from our podcast, writing blog content, making videos, running advertising. And I can tell you, hands down, first-person perspective, that Facebook video currently is the most powerful tool we have at our disposal to reach our target customers. And I say that with 100% certainty. Podcast is amazing, don't get me wrong, but when you can reach up to, one of our videos reached 750,000 people, and when you can do that for free, or with boosting about $100 per post, it's amazing the results you can get. So today, and talking about what Gary Vee said, do you understand the science behind video? And there is a science to Facebook video. And so today, that's what I'm excited to get into, is talking about not only how you can get started today on video, but the science of what makes a great video, and also how to create that video, what to do with it, and then what to expect. So very tactical, not as inspirational as Gary was, but I promise there's going to be some good stuff today, so let's get into it. Budweiser commercials. Where else should we start, right? So, Budweiser commercials, I wanted to give this example because this is 1 minute long. We wait for these commercials every year at the Super Bowl, and you know why? Because of puppies. Puppies are the epitome of social media Facebook video at the moment, right? So, but why are puppies so powerful? Well, puppies pull heartstrings, and heartstrings are what creates brand loyalty. So when you can pull those heartstrings and when you can get into the emotions of your customers, like this little guy, that's when you start to create some really powerful videos. And too often I see brands creating videos, not thinking about what they want their audience to feel. You post a product video, or you post a video of your team, and it's all brand focused, right? You're not thinking about that emotion. Not you personally, maybe. You're probably all thinking about emotion, but that emotion is what gets people to engage on social media. And so that's why puppy videos do so well on social, is because people, you're pulling the heartstrings there. So that's exactly what I want to focus on today, is the power of emotion. That's going to be the theme for all the tactics I'm going to give you moving forward. So really quick, this is what the presentation is going to look like: the why, the how, the videos, and best practices. I hope you all leave with some really actionable stuff today. So first, let's get into the why. There are a lot of stats, right? These are all video stats about how powerful video is on social media. But I want to point out 3, because I think these 3 are the most key, especially when talking about Facebook video in particular. Number 1, Facebook video drives 8 billion video views per day. 8 billion video views. Imagine if you captured just 0.01% of those views. That's a lot of views for your brand. Video posts on Facebook have an average of 135% more engagement than do photo posts. And I'm not even comparing that to link posts, which brands know and love, a lot of link posts. But photo posts in general, 135% more organic reach. 55% of people watch videos every single day on Facebook. I would not be surprised. This is from early 2017. I would not be surprised if that was an outdated stat. Gary Vee, my man. So he did a really cool article for the summit. You might have read it. But one of the things he said in there is that Facebook is sitting on an enormous amount of targetable consumer data. It literally is the ultimate marketing machine for brands and businesses. What other platform can you direct a video on Facebook to your target audience and then pay some money to Facebook to then boost it to more people like that target audience? Facebook has all the data you would ever need, and right now, talking about day trading, it is the ultimate marketing machine for your business. So essentially, we have all these video stats. What's the punchline? Facebook video is one of the most compelling ways to reach your audience. I promise, and I have some stats to back that up too, so bear with me. Now, enough about the stats. Let's get into some about how your brand can create videos, good videos that will reach this target audience we've been talking about. Right here. Start with what already works. So a lot of you, whether you're a personal brand, you're an entrepreneur, maybe you work for a business, or you're just trying to figure out this video thing, I bet you if you think hard enough, you have some things that have worked for your brand in the past. Well, guess what? You can amplify every single one of those things with video. Video isn't, and I already kind of hit the punchline there, but video is not a new form of marketing. It's what you currently are doing amplified. So you can, like we've been doing at Buffer, all of these different categories: blog posts, curated content, campaigns, events, product demos, education, entertainment, and of course, viral videos, the mecca of videos on Facebook. But you don't have to create viral videos to be successful. You have all of these options that you can amplify with video. So punchline, video is not a whole new type of marketing. Video is a way to amplify your existing marketing content. And I want you to remember that and think about that as you go to create videos as marketers and brands. And all of you watching on the live audience as well. I keep forgetting that we have that. So let's talk about a little bit more about the how, I guess, and I want to get into the frame of mind here. So I like to put it on everybody loves graph charts. And on one side you have importance and one side you have longevity. So there's a lot of different, I guess, groups that you can group your videos into. Bottom left corner, short-lived and secondary. So event recap, maybe an event like the video summit. I mean, hopefully this will last for a long time, but an event is sort of short-lived and something that you can focus on. Now in the bottom or in the upper left, you have short-lived and important product releases. Talking about your product, talking about your brand. So these are very important, but also, maybe a little less on the longevity of that. On the bottom right, you have perpetual and secondary. I put viral videos there because I don't want to tell you can't create viral videos, but I don't think it should be a priority for your brand. But that doesn't mean you can't go for those big hits, right? So perpetual, they last for a long time, maybe several years, but they're secondary. Now, what's in the upper right? Perpetual and important. These are the videos that are amplifying the content that's currently working for you. So I put blog content there because that's something that's really worked for Buffer, taking our blog content and turning it into videos, which I'm going to give you a few examples here in a second. But for you, what are your perpetual important topics or video categories that you can create video for? Think about it right now. Do you have those perpetual and important categories that really drive results for your business? That is what you should be focusing on. And all the other ones, so that's where you should be testing, iterating, improving. And then all the other ones, do and learn. Create videos. Don't spend too much time. Don't spend 20 hours making a video, because guess what? The videos that are winning on Facebook and seeing results on Facebook are 30 seconds to a minute. We're going to talk about that as well. But you don't have to create 20-hour production long videos. You can get in there, you can test, you can iterate, you can improve. And the way we found success at Buffer is by failing a lot and trying videos that didn't work and trying videos that literally got 10 views. And then after a while, we kept testing, we kept improving, we kept learning. And now we're at a point where I can honestly say that we create every one of our videos is successful on Facebook now, but don't get frustrated if you're not seeing success at first, because we definitely were failing. All right, that's a lot of intro, I know. So you're probably wondering, okay, I'm excited to create video. Gary Vee pumped me up. Now Brian's pumping me up. Now how are we going to actually create these videos? Where do you even start, right? And that's one of the questions I get most often in Buffer is like, Brian, I love video. I want to create video, but I don't know where to start. And I'm really excited for Sue's talk later because, as she was mentioning earlier, to be the face of your company or your personal brand is amazing. Like when you get to a point where you can be on video, I love it. And I was very scared when I first started. But I also want to let you know that you don't necessarily have to be on video to see success with video too. So blog content like we talked about. So one of the best ways that you can find good ideas for video content is, I hope you have Google Analytics set up on your website, or you can use a tool like BuzzSumo, but you simply sort traffic to all of your web pages by most visited web page, and all of a sudden you have 50, 100, depending on how much blog content you have, all of a sudden you have 50 to 100 ideas of videos that you can make based on popular demand. So I encourage you to have a gut feeling, but also back it up with data. So what are your people looking for? If you don't have blog content, that's okay. What are your customers asking you in your customer service channels? What are people talking with you about at events? Those are the best ideas for video content. I mean, this is straightforward. All I did was the simple Facebook posting strategy that helped us 3x our engagement. That was a big question that we got. How do I increase my Facebook engagement? We used Animoto to create the video quickly. Top Marketer's Guide to the 30 Best Business Books. It was a quick video with a picture of a book. That video got more than 50,000 views on Facebook. And the problem is that a lot of times you're like, well, that's kind of a silly idea. I'm always shocked about what people engage with on Facebook. It's absolutely incredible. And let the data drive your decisions on what videos to make. That's how you get started, and that's how you win right away. Get some quick wins, get some feel-goods, you know what I mean? So, next. Oh wait, I think I had to press it again. And there we go. Okay, so let's say you don't have blog content, you don't have customer service channels, that's okay. The next category that we've seen success with that buffer is industry news. So social media changes so quickly and so fast, and I bet in your industry, there's, I guess, really hot news topics that are often talked about, right? So if you think about your own industry, what's being talked about a lot? Well, guess what? Instead of writing a blog post on it, why not create a 30-second to a minute video talking about a recent news launch or industry event that happened within your industry? This video, for example, got more than 100,000 views, and it was a simple Facebook algorithm change. I was like, we could write a blog post about this, which we usually do. Instead, we said, let's create a 30-second video about the algorithm change. Way less time, way less resources, and way bigger results than we would have from a blog post. Now, the cool thing is, let's say you did want to write a blog post. We'll go ahead and embed that video in the blog post, because then it gives people multiple mediums from which they can consume your content. That's the main thing, is that as brands, we're all stuck on this. Well, Facebook organic reach is declining, and I'm not seeing as much traffic as I used to on Facebook. But the thing is that we have to chase what's working. We have to day trade, like Gary Vee said, right? So don't fight it. If people want to watch videos and that's how they want to consume content, and Facebook's going to reward you for posting videos, then you have a winning success formula to go off of. So enough about that. So now, let's say you don't have blog posts, or let's say you do and you're kind of getting bored of posting blog posts, or maybe they're not working too much. You don't have too much industry news. Well, then you can get into some fun stuff. Now, a lot of you probably read content on a daily basis. You probably consume content. You probably read popular articles, Feedly, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is. I stumbled across a Facebook post where somebody just wrote down some things. Hey, I found this really cool list of people that actually found success in their careers after age 30. Or after age 25, or whatever it was. I was like, you know what, that would make a really interesting video. So all I did, went into Animoto, grabbed screenshots of their faces, put what age they found success in their career, what it was. It's literally a 40-second video. This video got 350,000 views on Facebook. And is it embarrassing how simple this video is? I don't know if it is or not. I don't know if I'm a creative or if I'm a genius. But it's silly. But how did I know this was going to work? So I'm looking for trending content all the time. I'm looking for popular content online all the time. And I'm sure if you just switch it in your mind to maybe keep a notebook, keep a notepad on your iPhone, maybe use Evernote. Keep good ideas, always. I took a screenshot of the person who left the post with the names. I had that sitting on my desktop for 6 months before I decided to make this video. I'm like, I have an extra 5 minutes, let's make this video. It worked because I knew that a lot of people had already liked this content, so it would make a good buffer video. Last but not least, I think what is the holy grail of Facebook content is hacks, tips, and how-tos. And I'm going to show you some stats in a second about the most popular types of video based on topic on a BuzzSumo study. But this is where like your creativeness will come in, and this is, I think, is the holy grail of content. It's hacks, tips, and how-tos. This video, 500,000 views on Facebook, is a quick, and I just use Cloud App to record my screen. It's a quick overview on how to quickly make a GIF. I don't know if any of you are like, oh, this is kind of cool, I kind of want to watch that video. But it's a really quick tutorial on how to make a GIF. 500,000 views. I saw an article on this from Hootsuite, and I noticed that it was super popular. Like, well, why don't I turn this into a video? Why don't I provide this in a way that people are going to consume this content on Facebook? So hacks, tips, how-tos, it's very industry specific. So think about BuzzFeed Tasty and the videos, you've probably seen them where it's like a shot of them making the ingredients. Well, that's a hack, tip, or how-to, and those are the most popular videos on Facebook at the moment. I think they had over 1 billion views to their Facebook page last year. So hacks, tips, and how-tos, what in your industry can you help people hack or figure out how to do? And guess what? There's even more content. So that's not it. So that's what's working for Buffer. But there's also a lot of things, and I like to put them into two categories. So you have create awareness, and you have convert customers. So I hope maybe before the summits you had the question, well, I don't know what videos to make. Here's 18 categories, or no, 12 categories right here. And so when you're thinking about what videos tend to work on Facebook, I'm going to say probably in the create awareness stage, right? But guess what? So if let's say you do a thought leadership piece and you're an entrepreneur and you create a Facebook Live video about how you got started as an entrepreneur and how you launched your business. Well, what's amazing about Facebook is you can take the people who watch that video for more than 10 seconds and you can advertise to them through Facebook Ads Manager with one of this type of content. So if you think about the framework of how people become customers to, maybe to your business or to you as an entrepreneur client, what kind of videos you're doing to create awareness, and then how are you going to then target them with specific content further down the funnel to convert them into customers? And that's the framework that makes Facebook such a powerful tool, especially if you have Facebook Pixel set up, which I hope, if you work for a business, I hope you do, because it's amazing the kind of data you can get. So there's literally limitless ideas, but I like to kind of sort them into two categories. Tools. Probably wondering how you can create a very good, a quality video with maybe not so many resources, right? I think that's the one thing we're all strapped for time and resources. Video creation, graphic screenshots, stock images, and videos. There's a lot of tools out there, my favorite being Animoto, and I'm not just saying that. I was a long-time user before invited to this summit. But Animoto is an amazing tool. Cloud App, like I talked about for screen capturing, Canva, Pexels. But if I had to pick three, Animoto for video creation, Canva for the graphics that go within your video, and then also, this is something that I think is important to talk about. A lot of people think, well, I don't have video footage. I don't have B-roll. I don't have somebody shooting video for me in my office. I don't have a professional team making videos for me. I promise you that with these three tools, you can make a professional-looking video. Pexels, a lot of sites are now starting to offer free 4K stock video. So think Unsplash of photos. Pexel now offers really quality B-roll for your video. So you don't have to be I guess the point is you don't have to be on the camera yourself to thrive with video creation. Now the best practices, and this is where that science of videos come into play here. So there are, believe it or not, some scientific facts behind Facebook video. Number one, mobile. Did you know that 92% of people access Facebook via mobile only? And that's daily, that's a daily stat, so 92% of people only access Facebook via mobile. Well, why is that important? Because we need to be creating video for mobile. And that is such a thing. So think about your own Facebook consumption habits. I bet you're like this, scrolling super fast, kind of looking at the content, kind of not. What makes you stop in the feed? Is it the visual? Is it the graphic? Is it the person? Well, we ran some tests. We wanted to find out if we could target people on mobile and create video for mobile and actually see results. Believe it or not, we did. But this is what drove it. Square. Square Videos is an incredibly powerful tool to reach customers based purely on the fact that it takes up 78% more space in their feed. So let me go back one sec. So traditional video right here, right? So it's 16 by 9 rectangle. What happens when you make a square? Look how much more real estate that takes up in someone's feed. And the same goes for Instagram too. Instagram, when they made the change that allowed the photos to show up natively and not all 16 by 9, all we do is post portrait photos now because it increases the likelihood and the chance of someone seeing our content and interacting with it. In fact, and to prove my point, Animoto and Buffer ran a series of tests back in, I think, March or April. 10 tests, 60 variations, and we tested landscape video versus square video. Square video resulted in this incredible data. We got 70% more engagement, 40% more video views. Whoops, I put engagement twice, but I think that was with advertising and then that was with organic. 33% lower cost per click and 41% higher click-through rate. So not only were videos working organically, but they were working for advertisements too. And that's what, a lot of people were wondering, okay, how can I succeed with advertisements? Switching to Square Video, which Animoto allows you to do, which is why it's one of my favorite tools, allows you to create Square videos very quickly and very easily without a ton of work. Whereas previously, you had to crop them down in a movie editor, and it was kind of a hassle. So start with Square Video. So there's one scientific fact for you. Now let's talk about topic. I wish we were all in the animal, fashion, beauty, animals industry, because that would make our jobs a lot easier. The fact of the matter is that we're not. So let's just pretend like let's just start the graph here. DIY, hacks, tips, how-tos. But then let's get down here. So these are the most engaged Facebook videos in 2016. BuzzSumo studied 100 million Facebook video, or 100 million hours of video on Facebook. There's can you see your brand in some of these? There's a lot of opportunities for you to create video within some of these topics. So you don't have to create an animal video, even though we've done that before at Buff, and it actually does work. I wish we could do it more. But tech, music, health, travel, science, education, that's a really big one. How about that? Or humor. Trouble is, it's very hard to create funny videos, but if you're a funny person, you're in luck because that's up there. DIY, talking about the hacks to how-tos. So this is just an overview of what are the most popular topics on Facebook at the moment. Now, this one is really important. So Gary mentioned it. The first 3 seconds of your video are insanely important to the health of your video when you first post it on Facebook and then long term. Believe it or not, even though the Facebook algorithm has changed over the last few months, those first few minutes, you have to get a lot of likes and engagements and views for that video really to have long-term success. So this is a sensitive subject because I think when I first started, a lot of brands are under the assumption, we get this a lot of brands are under the assumption that you have to create a 3-minute video to really show value. On the other hand, the data shows that people don't want to see a 3-minute video on Facebook. So this is in seconds. The most engaged with Facebook videos are between 60 and 90 seconds. The second most, 120. The third most, 30 and 60. So basically this graph is saying don't make videos over 2 minutes. It's that simple. And a lot of your videos should be between 60 and 90 seconds. Because why? People are on Facebook on their phones. Imagine you have to get in the shoes. You have to get in the shoes of your consumer. What are they doing on Facebook? They're on their phones. They're probably walking. They're probably traveling. They're probably sitting in a coffee shop, maybe waiting at a table at a restaurant. They don't have time to consume a 3 to 5 minute video. 60 to 90 seconds. But that being said, and I wanted to give some major props to the Animoto team, Facebook Live videos are a different story. That is where you have the creative ability to go longer. So the most engaged with videos are between 18 and 20 minutes on Facebook Live. The reason being is because you're pre-promoting those videos. You're getting people stoked about the videos. You're sending it out to your email lists. And so when people come to a Facebook Live video, they actually are expecting a longer performance or a longer video. So really quick, 60 to 90 seconds for pre-recorded videos, 18 to 20 minutes for Facebook Live videos. And that is some science behind how you can make your videos better. Now, some more fun stuff. guess what? You don't have to be an expert and you don't have to be a professional video person or even comfortable on camera to be good at videos. You don't know this, and I'm freaking out right now being on video, but it was even worse before. I'm actually feeling a little better. The more you do it, the more you get practice, and the more you see results with it, the more you're going to be the more comfortable you'll get, and the more success you'll see. So if you do want to be on camera, I have 3 tips for you, and it's really about these 3 to give your video a professional look and feel. It's all about the sound, lighting, and stability. Everything else is up to you, and that's the creatives. But this is actual gear that you need. So sound, it has to be crisp, clear, audible. I won't go through all these, but with sound, you can get a lavalier mic on Amazon. So a lav mic, you might have heard them before, $20. You can use natural light. It's actually the best light. So you don't, I know this probably looks intimidating. You don't need this setup, but it's amazing. But if you have natural window light, that's the best. Make sure it's evenly spread across your face. Make sure it's not shining directly in your face, but a nice window lit room. If you don't have a window, if you work in a basement, that's okay. You can use white lights, not yellow lights. White lights are the best. Stability, last but not least, you can grab an Amazon tripod for $20. So sound, lighting, and stability, you can get started for $40 on Amazon, and that's what we did. And it really gives your video a professional look and feel, and it'll create more trust in your audience because they're going to be like, wow, Buffer made that video. I got to see Brian's face. It was the brand, it was the person behind the brand, right? And so providing a face and then also making it professional and look and feel professional will help really increase that engagement and help people feel brand affinity for you. So last but not least, I want to get back to this really quick. So when you leave here today and you go to create videos, if you're watching online or if you're here now, when you go to create videos, what are the hacks, tips, and how-tos that you can provide for your audience through video? Can you show them how to make a GIF? Can you show them how to make a recipe? How about to redo their fashion for the fall line, right? So all of those things are the best categories for your brand. And I wanted to leave today, we have 2 more slides, this one and one more, and I wanted to leave you with a few of our biggest learnings for Buffer. Number 1 is to tap into the wealth of Facebook data. So go and use Facebook's audience insights to learn about your audience. How old are they? Where do they live? How much money do they make? You can find that out. What's their average household income? You can find out what kind of pages they like, what topics they're interested in. And it's mind-blowing to me that people don't use Facebook page insights to guide their video or their content strategy because it's free information. You can also use Facebook pages to watch, which is one of my favorite personal tools to use to follow top brands in your industry. What are they posting about? What's working for them? What's not working for them? And yes, you can follow your competitors too, which is incredible. So Facebook's giving you all this information for free. Number 2, if you're thinking about advertising, don't use the boost button. So when if you manage a Facebook page, you'll notice that Facebook, every single post seems to be performing 90% better than the previous post. Somehow, if that was the case, our page would have like 10 million likes. But right below it is like boost button. So they're trying to make money. If you're going to pay for it, which I highly suggest you do, use Facebook Ads Manager to create a target audience. So maybe it's a lookalike audience. It's an audience based on your website traffic. Use Facebook Ads Manager, and then instead of creating a new ad, they have the option for use existing post. So don't use the Facebook boost button. Use existing posts within Facebook Ads Manager to make sure that video is getting to your target audience and not the generic audience that Facebook is providing for you. With that, you don't have to spend a ton to get results. So at Buffer, I talked our way into $5 a day, and then we're like, wow, that's really working. I talked it up to $10 a day. Now we're spending about $40 a day on boosting our top performing content on Facebook. But don't go to your boss or maybe justifying it for yourself. Don't go there and say, I want to spend $100 a day on Facebook boosting. Be like, hey, give me 20, 30 bucks. I'll show you what Facebook can do for our content and work your way up from there. Test a lot, iterate, and improve. Like I said, we failed a lot. So don't be afraid of failure. I think that's one thing that really blocks people from starting video is that you're afraid of what people might think about you on camera, or you're afraid that your video that you spent way more hours than you probably did getting a photo creating, right? So there's an element of, what if this doesn't work? It's not going to work every time, I promise you. But if you do it more and you test, you iterate, it will improve. And along with that, you can indeed make videos with just a little bit of resources. Like I talked about, there's free tools out there. Animoto is a great tool. Not free, right, Jason? not free, yeah. But definitely worth paying for. And then last but not least, getting back to that puppy that we saw in the beginning. When you're making videos, if you're spending time to make videos, what are the emotions that you want your audience to feel? What are the things that you hope that they feel when they see your video? If you can't answer that question, it's probably not going to be a great video, even if it's something as simple as a brand product or as a product demo. What do you want people to feel when they use your product or when they watch the video about your product? So you have to think of emotions, and one day, hopefully, we'll all become amazing Budweiser commercial makers. The power of video is not in the individual platforms. The magic is in the content, and right now, video is magical. So as brands, let's try not to be too mad at Facebook for declining our organic reach, and let's try not to be too mad at them for decreasing our traffic, even though we know it's happening. Chase what's working on Facebook, because you know what? In a year, if they go back to giving traffic to your brand, that's cool. Get back on the link posting. But for right now, video is the most powerful way to reach your customers on Facebook. And I promise you that with those tools and that science behind the art, you will be able to find success on Facebook. So thank you very much.
Give it up one more time for Brian. Woo! So, I mean, you can just tell, like I said, the power of what Brian talks about is you can just tell he's speaking about everything from a real firsthand, hands-on perspective. He's actually talking about the things that all of us are actually wondering, like what kind of videos do I need to make? What needs to go into the video? How do I get those, those screenshots, or how do I get that stock in there? And so, what should I start with? What should those few seconds be like? How do I create for mobile? So those are just so much of like the questions that we get all the time. I mean, he just captured in that whole presentation. And I have to say, he was talking about, like having to follow Gary Vee. Let me tell you what would make me even more nervous is, so Brian's wife is actually here in the audience. They flew out here from Colorado, so I can't even imagine. If my wife was in the audience, I would just be like this nervous wreck. But so the fact that Brian could just like be up here presenting with his wife. Hi, Caitlin. All right, so let's move on. So next up, it is my privilege to introduce Animoto's very own Sally Sargood. So Sally is the business video specialist here at Animoto, and she's literally the person behind many or most of Animoto's most successful marketing videos, and she's literally these days like flying around the world, sharing everything she knows about video. She's sharing all her video secrets, and she's here today to roll up our sleeves with us and actually get hands-on and show us exactly how you go about making a successful video for social media and what should go into it. So if you could help me give a huge warm welcome to Sally Sargood. Here's Sally.
Thank you so much. That was an amazing introduction, and it's so good to be here. I'm loving following up after Gary Vee and Brian. Gary's given us all like a dose of inspiration, a kick in the pants, and then Brian's shown us what works best. So now I'm sure you're all sitting there thinking, I really need to do this whole video marketing thing. But how? How am I doing it? I'm not a video editor. How can I do it? And that's why I'm here. Animoto is an online platform that's designed to make it easy for everybody to make business videos to promote their business. So I'm going to jump in and show you how. Okay, so hopefully that's up, yes. As much as I'd love to show you everything that Animoto does today, I've only got 15 minutes and I'm looking at the clock already. So we're going to jump straight in and going to make a marketing video. So the first thing you see is a selection of what we call pre-built storyboards. And these are actually based on what you probably see in your business feed, the kind of marketing videos that you see in your news feed on social media. So there's a different selection here, all types of videos. We've got editorial videos, there's a top 5 video, we've got blog teasers up there. But I'm actually today going to start with a bite-sized product intro. So we choose this storyboard, and you come to the product dashboard. The very first thing you're going to want to do is actually upload some photos and video clips. So we'll click on the upload button. I've actually got a folder of them all here. And we'll click on that and select them all. Open. And what we're actually going to do, you'll see here there were already existing photographs. we actually are going to drop our photographs on top of those ones. You'll see they're grayed out until you put your cursor over it, but you won't be able to produce a video until you actually replace all that is there with your own. So it's simply a case of taking a photograph and dropping it in. You want to see that again? We'll take another one and put it in the second block. So it's super easy. It doesn't get much easier than that. The next one here, let's take this pretty green cup of coffee, put that one in there. And then the last one here looks like it's vertical. So we'll take this one and put it in. And apart from the story, we could have made that video in 2 minutes. But what we want to do is actually add some text. We don't want our story to be about bearded soap when it's a coffee shop. So we could leave the text in there, but we're going to change it. So I'm actually just going to hover over here, and you can see the T standing there. So we'll hit that, and I'm going to say, this is Chapel Hill's favorite coffee shop. Let's put on this one. Oops. Coffee shop. Okay, so it's as easy as that to change the text. Looking at that, we can't really see it properly, so I'm going to hit the See More button, and you've actually got more editing tools in here. Again, we can click on the T, and you'll see here we've got this enhanced legibility. As soon as I click that, you get a dark shadow behind it, and it stands out more. So that helps to start with. In here also, we can actually change the size of the font. I might make Chapel Hill a little bit bigger, and Favorite Coffee Shop a little bit smaller. So we can do that as well. If you wanted to, you could also change the color of the font. However, I actually like it white, so we're going to leave it that way. So that's the first slide, done to tell the story. Looking at the second slide, second block here, we'll go into See More again. And this time I actually want to readjust where the image is. It's off to the side a little bit. So we're on the image icon here, and all I need to do is maybe zoom it in a little bit, and I can move it across and center that. Once again, you can't really see the text on this. The interesting thing is, I love what it says, a rejuvenating way to start the day, which is what coffee is, right? So I'm going to leave that there. But I am going to, again, hit that T button for text and enhance the legibility for that one. So that's our block number 2 done. Okay, this third one here, this looks interesting. Let's go into this one and change the text again. We'll say, come in and join us. For a great cup of Joe. We don't call it Joe in Australia, but I know you guys do. Okay. Now, it doesn't look any good there, so what we can do is actually grab it and move it up all around wherever you want to on the photograph. Once again, I'm going to just make that a little bit bigger. I get really pedantic about things kind of matching, so this is what I love about this customization. You've got the ability to do that. Again, I'm going to zoom in on this one and just bring it down a little bit there so it looks typical. And we're already up to the third block finished. Now with this last one, I'm looking at it, you know what, that color doesn't really match my brand. The brand is brown for the coffee shop, and the blue doesn't really match that. So we can go to the design button here, and you can change the background color. So we're going to change that to this color brown. Now I've actually got that saved in there, but if you have a specific number that is your brand color, you can actually put that number in there and actually come up with the exact color of your brand. On the theme of branding, we also have 28 or 26, I think, different fonts here. So you can choose a font that will also match your brand. So most of the major font families are represented, and you can see as you change them, you can see how they look. There's one here called Roberto Slab, and that one looks good to me, so I'm going to choose that one. You can also see here, this one stays up for 6 seconds. I don't really want tag your bearded buddies as the text, so we're going to change that also and change it to bring your friends. Oops, I can never spell friends right. Okay, that looks great, but we're going to make that only up there for 3 seconds. And let's make this one up for 2. The great thing is too, you can actually hover over it and see how long it stays up there, so you can read and make sure your text can all be read while you just hover over it. So that looks awesome. So once again, I think I'm 6 minutes in, and that could be our video. That's exactly how the template was, and we could produce that and everything would be awesome. But I know I've got some video clips, and I know you also want to see how to add video clips, so we're going to add a video clip. We go back to the media tray, and this here is a video clip. You can drop it anywhere in the dashboard, and then you can move it around. Same with all of the blocks, they can be switched around in any position. I'm going to put that one there. So we'll go back in to see more, and see these scissors down here. We'll click on that one, and you actually get to scroll through the video. You can play the whole thing if you want, but I'm just going to scroll through it and choose the part that you want to include. Now this is all running order, which is not very interesting, but I'm going to start just before he actually puts it up there, and then we can trim it down at the end as well to just when he takes the cup away. So we can apply that. So we've trimmed it down to only 5 seconds out of 30. And then you can preview that by hitting the play button to see the little clip that I've included. So I think that looks pretty cool. And we've got that there. The other thing that I think we need here is a logo. We all should actually put our logo at the end. So we can go to add a block and click on the logo button, and you add a logo block at the end there. You can actually just take your logo, drop that on the L, and that goes in there like that. The beauty of the logo block, when we're going to see more, is that you can actually animate your logo. So we've got different animations that make your logo look really professional for your video. So I'm going to choose the zoom in. Here on the logo block, you can also add text. So sometimes you can put your URL. Being a coffee shop, I'm thinking better to put our address. So I'm going to put the address of the coffee shop, Chapel Hill. Oops. You can't actually see this because my font's too big. So we need to reduce the font, and the address will stay up like that. Now we're almost there. I'm kind of at the point now where bring your friends. A photo of the actual espresso cup is not that enticing. I'd rather put a photo of the actual cafe. So I can slide that into there, but you can't really see the cafe. So when I click on see more, you can actually say full screen, and that crop left or crop right goes away. So we go to full screen. We can't see the text now, but you all know by now how to improve that. We'll hit the legibility button, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I think we might put it at the top as well. Okay, so how does that look? Looks good. Now, another thing is music. I think Brian just said most people are listening to videos watching videos with the sound off, but the music is still really important. So Animoto has over 2,000 songs included in our subscription, and they're all commercially licensed. So you can actually post them to YouTube, Facebook, you can sell them. So that's all okay for you to do that with these songs. So I'll click on the music icon. There's a song already there that you can listen to. It's a little bit kind of cool, I think, for the coffee shop, so I'm going to change the song. We've actually recommended 5 different songs here when you go to change the song, and you can just listen to those, see which one you like, and if you don't like any, you can go into the full library and browse through our 2,000 songs, which you can sort by mood, you can sort by genre, all of that sort of thing. But I actually like this one. It sort of suits the coffee shop. I don't know if we can hear it here. I think that has that kind of cool vibe, lounge feel. So we're going to select that. And then I think we're pretty much good to go. What are we, 10 minutes in? I did good. So I'm going to hit the preview button. And it takes about 15 seconds. You get a low-res preview come up. And if you can then just watch the video through. If you like it, produce it. If you don't like it, we can go back in and we can edit it again and do other things to it. So what I'm actually going to do, I think it looks awesome, and we're going to hit produce today. So we'll give it a name. Just a cafe name. It'll actually render that video in 4 different resolutions. Everything from 360, which is just kind of web size, up to 1080 high def, which is awesome for your online media, YouTube, Facebook, all of that sort of thing as well. While that's rendering, I can actually take you through the different ways that you can share your videos. So you can click on the Facebook button here, and you can connect your Facebook account directly to Animoto. So that can either be your personal page or your business page. So you get the choice actually when you click on that to go to which one, your timeline or your page. You can also click on this Instagram button, and although you can't upload from desktop to Instagram, we actually give you the details how you can do it with Animoto. Okay, there's also a YouTube button, so you can link your YouTube account, HubSpot if you're using it, Twitter, all of these different ways to do it. If you need approval before you can fully render your video, you can send a link to someone, be it your customer or a marketing director, that kind of stuff. And you can even get an embed code to put on your blog or on your website, either way. Okay, we don't need to copy that. The other thing is you can download it so that it goes directly to your computer and then put it on a thumb drive, do whatever you need to with it. So there are all the different ways that you can share it. The one thing I am going to show you, because I've got time, is we can actually go back into this and make a copy. Okay, and we can continue editing that copy. So I've got the square one that I've already made. But what if I want to put it on YouTube as well? Like, the square is great for social media as far as Instagram and Facebook is concerned, but YouTube on my website, I think landscape's probably a better fit. So we can go over here to the ratio button and click on that, apply landscape, and the same video is now landscape. You might need to tweak it, sort of move your cropping around or anything like that, but it's super quick to do the same video as a landscape as we did as a square. So, who wants to see our final video? Yeah. Okay, let's go full screen. Pretty cool, huh? Super easy. So what I all want you to do now is to start making videos. It is easy and everybody can do it. And anybody who's not already an Animoto user, we actually have a great discount that we're offering on our professional plan. I think the guys are going to put a URL up in the Facebook group so you can all get access to it that way. But I strongly encourage you just to jump in and start doing it. It's super easy. Everyone can get involved. We love helping you. We've got a great Facebook community. We also have a great customer success team, and we love putting on events like this to help you out with it all. So happy video making.
Please help me thank Sally, the total video master, makes everything look so awesome. All right, so we have one more presenter, and it is my huge privilege and honor to be introducing Sue Bryce. Sue is a dear friend and someone I just love and respect to death. But she is not only a world-renowned photographer and extraordinarily successful businesswoman entrepreneur. You will not find a harder working, more tenacious, more creative person than Sue. And what's incredible is she has a huge, you guys are probably part of it, she has a huge online following. And she uses video to engage with that following. And really Sue, just really saw, we heard earlier, saw the potential of video almost way before everyone else. And she just immediately embraced it. And she wasn't just using video in the ways that you might think of using it. She was really forging the way, really pioneering all the different ways you can and should be using video to really engage with your audience, your prospects, your customers, your community. And so Sue is here today to teach us how we engage with our audience, our community, using video. So without further ado, please help me welcome the very lovely Sue Bryce. Woo!
Hi everyone. I really want to talk to you about finding your voice, because all the statistics you heard and all the hard work and the career path that Gary took and everything that Brian said and all those amazing statistics mean nothing when the one block you have is, what do I say? Okay, finding my voice. And I have this extraordinary skill that I can talk underwater. But that was not always the case. Okay, I had to find my voice. So when I first was asked to go and present in front of 25 other business owners, I was paralyzed because I didn't know what to say. But more importantly, I had this burning desire to share my voice. So I was kind of stuck between, I know I have something to say, but I don't know how to say it. So I wasn't authentic in my delivery, and I certainly was too involved in what other people thought of me instead of the power of what I had to say to them. Now, the first thing that's going to happen when you, quote, put yourself out there is you will get negative feedback. And it's so easy to run when you get that first pushback. But also you're going to find your voice and you're going to find your audience. And when you find your audience, the negative voices, they become less and less, because the positive voice is the audience that needs you, wants to connect with you, wants to hear what you have to say, wants your education, wants your time, wants your presence, wants your inspiration, wants what you know. And if you withhold that, you're never going to learn how to stand up and speak. I think the biggest experience I went through in the transformation of being online in my own videos was I truly found myself. Now, I talk about it as engagement, education, and connection, but that's still a nebulous term for a lot of people who are trying so hard to get engagement. Okay, so what is share-worthy media? What is that? Like, what does it mean? And what makes somebody attracted to you and your brand? You know, what makes somebody want to come back and watch you over and over again? So I sat down and I thought, if I could write a recipe for your voice, then all you have to do is look at this recipe and say, this one is not for me, oh, this is for me. Okay? First of all, I need you to set a vision, and then I need to set a goal, and then I need you to set your intention for what you're trying to do here. Because the universe is listening to you, and in all its infinite power, it's waiting for you to say, this is what I want. Now, when you write down what you want, you may not be confident in your delivery, you may not be confident in your voice yet, and your brand and skill may not even be up to scratch with what you want or where you want to go. But all you need is a clear vision, a clear goal, and a clear intention. Intention is powerful. It is the energy with which you attract. It is the energy with which you engage. So it's the feeling and thoughts inside you, regardless of what's coming out of your mouth. And you know, what's coming out of your mouth is really powerful, but the intention in which you do and say anything is emitting far stronger. And that's why some people can talk online and you just find no connection within them, because their intention is off and it is misdirected, and it can come across disingenuous very quickly. You cannot share from a place of validation. You cannot actually operate a business from a place of need. And I know we all need to get paid. We all need to have somebody to tell us we're good enough. We all need attention and feedback. But if you're looking for validation, you are not serving, you are asking. And when you're asking, you're not giving. And when you're not giving, you're simply not giving service, education, connection, communication, anything. You simply are not giving it. What company in the world gets paid for no service? None, because we get so wrapped up in ourselves that we get in the way of ourselves. You must share from a desire to serve, from a desire to give. Now, I see a lot of people that are tight-fisted. They don't want to give all their information. You don't have to give all of your information. The best education videos I've ever done in my career come down to one subject, one powerful subject. Now, here's the thing about creativity. The more it comes in, the more it goes out. The more it comes in, the more that goes out. Every time I create an idea, put it forward to my group, which has 46,000 people in it, they will execute my idea. My idea is now gone. It's come through me. I am a vessel. And I'll often, at first, I used to think, oh, well, that's gone very quickly, and now they're doing it, and now it's not mine anymore. And it was never mine. Somebody on the other side of the world is creating content in parallel to me, because it is a God-given It is a God-given energy for it to flow through you, come out of you, and go out into the world. And the best part about creativity is the more I send out, the more I create. And then my expansiveness in creation and creating content, it just keeps coming and coming and coming. And yes, there are days where I feel tight-fisted. There are days where I feel possessive around my content. And I think, can't I just keep something for myself? And then I say to myself, I stand up, I walk away, and I say, I am here to give. I am here to create. I am not here to compete. I am here to give. I am here to create. I am not here to compete. That energy alone is abundant. And it is abundant the way you speak in your videos, the way you post on your Facebook page, the way you speak when you're in public. I give with everything I've got, because the more I give, the more comes back to me. How many times do I talk to businesses that cannot identify to me what they are selling? Now, you can tell me the product you make. You can even possibly tell me the basic service that you offer, but you can't explain your experience to me, especially as a solopreneur, right? Because as a solopreneur, you're not selling your product and service, you're selling yourself. And you can't do that, because we all become crippled when we talk about ourselves, except for that rare percentage of 1% of people that just love talking about themselves. And then they never give service because they're still talking about themselves. Okay, and the truth is you're not selling yourself. You're presenting yourself, but you are selling your knowledge, you're selling your experience, you're selling your skill. You're not selling yourself, you're selling the service and product that you give. So stop putting yourself in the way. And when I say, do you identify what you're selling? Do you know what you're selling? Do you know what your product and service means? I do not mean, do you just know what product you're selling? I mean your service, emotionally, physically, the experience of what you offer, the tangible product. What does it mean to people? Why is it desirable? Why is your time desirable? Why are you interesting? What have you got? Show me what you've got, because you want people to pay you. But you're not telling me what I'm getting, and I'm the one with the money. I'm ready to pay you, but you're not telling me what's in it for me. You're so wrapped up in you. Okay, and if you tell me what you can give me, if you tell me what you can offer me, I'm going to buy it, because I'm buying what you're selling if I desire it. Okay, so you have to know what that is, and I'll tell you the best way to find out, because I've been in business now for 17 years as a solopreneur. I did not know the power of what I was selling until I asked somebody else. And then they told me, and then that became my tagline. So I want you to identify what you're selling. I want you to sit down and find out what it is that you're truly selling and sharing. I'll give you an example. I am a photographer, and I give an experience of beauty. But it's more than just beauty. It's confidence. And it's a transformation. And all I can say to you in my brand is, I see you. For every woman that walks on this planet that wants to feel beauty, wants to feel beautiful, I'm your photographer. I want to take the best photograph you have ever seen of yourself, and I want you to fall in love with who you are. It's pretty good, right? Yeah. But here's the thing. I believe that. And I don't believe it for any other reason that I was doing it one day and somebody told me that's what I do. And I didn't know. I hoped, and I was getting better and better, but I'll tell you how I found out how. Here's another example. I photograph relationships, okay? So, you know the old saying, you don't sell a kitchen, you sell the heart of the house. Because that's where your family is fed, nourished, and joined together every day. You don't sell a kitchen, okay? I don't sell photographs. I sell relationships, okay? And I give an experience of love, laughter, and priceless memories. Memories that mean more the longer they go. And they will outlive me. My body of work will outlive me. And to a family beyond me, it will mean more to them than anything they own. And I did not understand that until somebody told me that's what I did. Okay? Until you see someone that loses someone. You are someone that I love and I want to capture you for all time. It's the best tagline I got from my focus group. And now it's a tagline I use over and over again. Okay? The best marketing in the world solves a problem. We know this. So what is the problem you're trying to solve in your business right now? What is the one objection that you hear over and over again? There's your first problem. Solve that problem in your marketing. Solve it in your post, solve it in your video. Oh, I hate to be photographed because I'm so self-conscious. Oh, I need to lose 20 pounds. Oh, I shouldn't do this for myself. Just photograph my kids. Feel every objection that comes your way. Now, when you're a small business, you hear those objections and you just hear rejection. Nobody will book me. Nobody's going to pay for me. All anybody tells me is I'm too expensive. All anybody tells me is I can't do it. And all of a sudden, you're confronted with rejection. But an objection is not a rejection. It's a call for more information. Sales tip 101. And I got to say, when you get that objection, listen to it. Answer the objection. And then create that objection into your marketing. If the best marketing in the world answers a problem and solves a problem, the next thing you're going to do is identify a need. Identify a need around your business and brand. If I can identify a need, I'm not only answering a problem, I'm solving a problem, I'm telling people, you need me for this. And when somebody needs you, they book you and they buy from you because they need you. Okay, this was the best advice I was ever given. Where do you get the most traction and interaction on your social media? I want you to look at your statistics. I want you to look at your videos that you may have already started doing. I want you to look at your Instagram, and if you have a YouTube or Vimeo channel, I want you to go to your channel. Where are you getting the most views? What are you talking about that gives you the most views because you've hit on something that you do and you're doing it extraordinarily well? Now, I learned that about 4 years ago. And all of a sudden, I started to search myself on YouTube. I started to look at what got the biggest hits. I have a video that has 400,000 hits. I'm like, okay, none of my other videos come this close to having this many hits. What am I doing in this video? I'm teaching how to pose all body types, curvy bodies, short bodies, no necks, double chins, and I'm teaching how to pose real bodies for photographers instead of supermodels that don't need any posing. I'm getting hundreds of thousands of hits, and that tells me my superpower is posing, which it is. And of course, nobody poses like me because I'm very good at it. I've studied it for 25, 28 years. And all of a sudden, I understand that this is one of my most desirable traction products, and I've got to move towards creating more of it. Also, what else gives me a lot of traction is I have hundreds of thousands of views around my first 2 years of business in my garage startup because I have such an extraordinary story, which people say rags to riches, but if you can call a 28-year career rags to riches, then yes, I am definitely came to fame very, very fast. And the truth is at the end of the day, I have an incredible story because I started with nothing, guts and glory. I'm not a rich wife. I'm not a trust fund baby, but I did it. I did it with nothing. I borrowed $3,000 from my parents and I started in my garage. And a year later, we turned over $500,000 and I walk you through how. But the crazy part about that is, yes, it's a great story, but it's the truth. And that's where I get so much more traction and interaction. The third one is I talk a lot about fear. I talk a lot about blocks. I talk a lot about the things that stop you, and that's the third highest traction. Where is your traction? Where is your interaction? Is it in a family video? Is it in a mother and child video? Is it in a video where you're talking? Is it in a video where you featured another story? Like, where are you getting the biggest bounce? And I don't care if that's 100 likes as opposed to me saying, I had 400,000 likes. I mean, come on, I have been out there for a lot longer than you, so don't worry about that. I don't care if your traction is, wow, this post got 200 likes. And that's more than I get. So look at why and go after that energy because it's so amazing. It's right there in front of you. Number one, what is my intention? And I want you to write that down whenever you create a post, a story, a blog post, a video, a slideshow, a Facebook Live. Number two, choose a narrative. One narrative. Stop trying to put 8 videos in one video. People don't have the attention span and they don't care. And you're not that important. So unless you're creating one interesting thing, stop. Okay, stop. And stop with the selfies. You're not a Kardashian. No, seriously, unless you're super hot or you've got something else going on for the world, let it go. Give some information. Otherwise, you're not that interesting. Number 3, what relationship am I showcasing in this story? Like, relationships are the most powerful emotion stories. That's what Brian just told us. Emotion, is it me and my puppy? It could be. Is it me and my mum? Is it the relationship you have with yourself? Is it the relationship you have with your sisters? Is it the relationship you have with your urban family? But the relationship story is the single most powerful. We know when we market to men and women, specifically women, we love smiling faces, beautiful stories, connection, and education. That's what we love. Create it. Number 4, what is the mood and the emotion that I'm putting into this story? Now, we talk a lot about positive stories. We talk a lot about relationships. We talk a lot about the love and emotion that you get from those stories, but there are other emotions that spike people, and they're all a little bit different. I'll give you 8, and this is for your focus group. So write down the first word. You can write down the other words if you think that they're important enough for you to remember, but it's the first word in white that I want you to focus in, because when you create your focus group next, this is going to be the place where you ask these questions. Enthusiasm is an interesting thing. You see, a lot of people talk about passion. Passion is, suffering. And most entrepreneurs or solopreneurs specifically love to suffer because we're just all creative artists and we just love it. We really do. We love to struggle. But the truth is enthusiasm comes from the Greek word entheos, which is to find God within you. Like when you're enthusiastic and you're just working with joy and you're channeling with pure intention and joy and you know what you're doing is right, and you believe in it and you're walking towards it and you're taking action and nothing's slowing you down. Enthusiasm is so powerful. It's one of the most attractive creative energies in the world, and your creative energy is so attractive that when it goes out there, it's attracting money, it's attracting clients, it's mostly attracting opportunity. And you're going to see opportunity just start coming to you and coming to you and coming to you and coming to you. Engagement. What is engagement? It's when people come back. It's when people ask questions. I want you to stay on a thread. If you create a thread, stay on it. Don't walk away from it. Chat with people. Talk back. Like, love. Respond. Whatever it takes. The more interaction you create on your page, the more people will know you're there to respond to them, the more they'll go to your page for that interaction. I have such a high interaction on my Facebook page, and I absolutely love it. Create polls every week, or at least twice a month. Create a poll into your group that talks to people about what they're doing, where they're at, and find out where they're at. It's going to statistically give you information that you can create more connection and education on. It engages people, it gets them talking, and it's super interesting. Be consistent. You know, consistency is one of the most powerful energies in a business. It's what you do every day, daily practice, consistency that makes your business incredible. And it really, truly is the one thing, consistency. Just be consistent. Show up in your brand. Show up for your Facebook page. Show up on Instagram and show up on your blog and be there consistently, finding something to connect and talk about. And if you struggle for content, remember the something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. Yes, it's the bridle, remember? Something old, bring it back from the past. This is what I learned 20 years ago. This is what I learned 3 years ago. Something new, this is what I've just learned. Something borrowed, you can share inspiration and post somebody else. And something blue is something from the heart and soul. It's got me through every time I felt like I didn't have content this week. I sat there and I said, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue, something old, something new. Oh, I'm going to take inspiration from another blog. I'm going to ask for permission, I'm going to post, I'm going to share this author, and I'm going to use their inspiration to share with my audience, because the consistency of engagement is so important. Education is an interesting beast. I'm in the business of online education, but if you are a service provider or a product provider, you're not so much in the business of educating. However, you are educating the experience of what you do. You're educating the service of what you do. To some degree, you're educating the price, and you're also educating the solution to the problem that they have that's going to stop them from coming into your studio or your shop or your store or your online store or order from you. So you're still educating. You still have to give information that educates about what you're doing and why. Emotion, like Brian said, the most powerful component in a video. What story am I connecting to this product, service, and experience? What relationships am I showcasing that will bring an emotional aspect into my story and narrative? Is it evocative? Now, you can be evocative in many different ways. You can even, I always think to myself online, when it comes to trolling and managing an online audience, I'll take the high road. If someone goes low, I go high, because I don't want to retaliate. I don't want to feed the trolls. But maybe your shtick is to feed the trolls. Maybe your shtick is to get in there and smack some trolls around a little bit and just be like one of those people that walks in there and says, if you want to mess with me, this is going to go down like this. But the truth is whatever you choose, be consistent in the way you do it and the intention of which you do that and why you choose to do that. Okay? So to be evocative is to bring strong images and memories and feelings into the mind. So sometimes we can push the boundaries of evocative, especially when you're making marketing. But, you know, some people may be offended by that, by being evocative, and you have to deal with that. That's something that you're going to have to acknowledge and deal with. Of course, entertainment is the one thing that I think everybody still purchases, entertainment and education. So be funny, be clever, be quirky, but like Brian said, it's actually hard to make a funny video. It really is, because you have to really have the content or the person with the content that can make you laugh. But if you do it naturally, then obviously it's the fastest way to do it. Entice and experience. Okay, these are the two things that I think we must focus on. You must tell me what you're selling so you can entice me and then tell me what that experience is. So you're going to show, you're going to make me feel what your experience is. You're going to make me want this, and you are going to make me desire this. I'm not going to buy it until I want it and desire it. So what are you doing to make me want this? What are you doing to make me want to come back over and over again? What are you doing? All right? The last one is elevate and empower. And this is so interesting. Look at it like this. You can share inspirational quotes. So many entrepreneurs have Instagrams and Facebook where they're just sharing inspirational quotes. But an inspirational quote, unless it's super incredible, and every now and then I'll read one and I'll think, oh, I'll keep that. But I probably only keep 1 in 100 that I read on Instagram. Whenever I post an inspirational quote, or I take one inspirational quote and I quote the author, I'll bring it to my group. I tell a story about what I struggled with, why this quote meant something to me, or how this quote changed me. I educate with an inspirational quote, because inspiration is fine, but without some background, some education, and some grounding, it's really just fluff. You know, and you can write as much just do it and just fluff as you want, but the truth is if it has a tangible lesson attached to it, your interaction is going to go off the charts. So whenever I take an inspirational quote, I'll say, I remember what it feels like when I couldn't sell myself. I remember what it feels like when my voice was paralyzed and I could not value myself. I remember what it felt like going into a sales session just with that hot feeling on the back of my neck and that dread in my gut, thinking, what happens if I'm rejected right now in this moment? I'll write the lesson with the inspiration and it changes everything. I'll give you an example also of how I can create further engagement. Okay, everything I create is about engagement, engagement, engagement. I'm doing a live video tomorrow into my closed circuit broadcast with my students on a closed circuit. I'm teaching a posing collection for 1 hour. And it's very, very basics to powerful. It is the 4 best poses I can teach you in one go. Then I thought about it. I thought, right, what's going to happen? My audience is going to watch, they're going to learn, and then they're going to go and maybe try. Maybe. Because not everybody gets to try. Okay? They're going to watch, they're going to learn, they're going to try. But I want them to come back. So we went to our web developer and we built a gallery. I built a gallery on my web page, so after you learn the pose, you can then go and try the pose, and then within 4 weeks, you can upload your try into a gallery, and that gallery has a voting system. And now you can vote for yourself if you want, or you can go and vote for the best shot of the month on that lesson, who won this month's lesson, and then the winner, who was voted by popular demand, wins a prize every single month. I'm always going to bring my followers back to me to engage, to interact, to follow more. My whole waking hour is really thinking about how I can get you to interact with me. You see, I speak to thousands of people online, but I want you to speak back to me. I want you to come back to me. I want you to follow me. I want you to stay engaged with me so you come back for more. I don't know what to say is the one thing I hear over and over again. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Here it is, create a focus group. When I first started my business, I struggled for the first 2 years. I was building my income, finding my value. We got out of the garage studio in the 3rd year. We hired a space. Now it was time to create a dynamic networking crew. At the time, I did 2 things. I created a networking group and I created a focus group. It is very easy to entice other business owners to your studio, to your space, to your business, if you are working on marketing, not only with each other's audiences, but with each other's knowledge. So straight away, I want you to get a focus group. That focus group, you can do it 4 ways. Number 1, you can do client testimonial videos, which are really awesome. But if you're just starting out, exactly what Brian said, you need good sound, you need good light, and you need stability. And they sound so easy until you get a camera and try and record your first video and edit it. Then you realize there's a whole nother learning curve. However, you can do this well, and you can do this on your iPhone. And you just saw Sally edit a marketing video in 11 minutes that can go online. So it is achievable. They've made it easy for you. Number 2, a focus group should be past clients. So somebody who has actually experienced your service and product so they can honestly give you feedback. And yes, number 3, networking, other business owners. You can create a power group of other business owners, work out how you're going to network to each other's audiences, work out exactly what you can do for each other, work with each other, build your marketing together, help each other, swap services and products, tell each other what you love about each other's products and services so you can get your words. And number 4, you can do an online survey. They're so easy to do. You can go to a survey, you can go to SurveyMonkey. You can do online surveys for free. You can pay to do them. In fact, I think the first SurveyMonkey is free. And once you do that survey, people have to sit and fill it out. Now, what's going to make people sit and fill something out? Nothing. You need to incentivize them. And that's why you should give away something. You could connect. You could also do, a marketing funnel just to collect emails. If they want to do the survey, they can go and fill in to win. Anything. If you give back, they may answer your questions, but you're not going to get the face-to-face. However, you may get more honest criticism if they're not sitting in front of you, because sometimes it's very hard to say to someone, you kind of suck. Right? You sucked at this. And then it's like, oh, I have to say that to your face? Oh, you were great. Yeah. You were great. I just feel like it's not really, it's not you. It's me. Yeah. So we've all given that talk. The truth is, what it comes down to is get people in front of you. Now, when I got people in front of me, it was really, really crazy, because all of a sudden, what do I say came to full force. Let your focus group show you what you're doing right and wrong. Play them videos, show them slideshows, show them advertising. It was really strange. At the time, I had these 2 images, both of young blonde girls, and I loved image A. And when I showed my focus group, 100% liked image B. And I was like, okay, there are 12 people in this set, and all of you liked image B. Nobody liked image 1. And when I asked people, what didn't you like about image 1, I heard words like disconnected, fake, not real looking, disingenuous, not somebody I would be friends with. And I was like, wait a minute, this is crazy. Because the crazy part was I loved both images as photographic images. Like I loved what they represented. Photographically, I felt like I did both these girls really well. But the image A really was all those things in real life. She was not likable, she was fake, she was disingenuous, and yet she's a beautiful girl, but it came through. And the girl in image B was everything. She was someone I loved. She actually ended up working for me for 4 years. And it was so bizarre that they could feel her energy in that shot. And it was speaking louder than I thought. They gave me the right words. They told me what I was doing wrong. They said my follow-through customer service sucked, and that's why they didn't give me referrals. So I changed it. I sat my team down, I educated them, I changed my system. This focus group, this networking group, will change your world. Okay? This is the ultimate opportunity to network and relationship build and stop hiding behind your computer because you think you're marketing sitting on Facebook, but you are not. You're not networking. You're not marketing. You're not. Okay? You're just another opinion on Facebook. And if somebody doesn't like that opinion, you can get wiped off pretty quickly. You can get blocked, you can get shut out, you can get shut up, and you're not connecting. And you know what? The fastest way to build a business is in person, talking to people, and we're hiding behind our computers. So that focus group will be one of the strongest things you can build, and trust me, it is. But where do I go? But who do I ask? You are to ask friends. I would be careful not to ask family. They have too much of an emotional tie to what you're doing and your success, and they will transmit too much of their own negative blocks and their own limits to you, and they'll make you cry, and then your focus group will go bad. All right, and then you'll just hate your sister-in-law for the next 20 years. All right, so what I want you to do is focus on friends, clients, and anybody that you can network business to business with that's in a similar business network to you or structure to you. You will learn more about yourself than you ever thought possible, and I mean both in the negative and the positive, but you must listen, all right? Give people adjectives. This is the smartest way to work. I do not say, hi, what do you think of me? I go, what do you think of this advert? And I will give you 20 adjectives. No, I'll give you 10 because 20 is too many, and you can circle the ones that you find applicable. When I ask people to give me 3 adjectives on how they feel about, people are constantly like this, adjectives. So first you go back to primary school where it's like, pretty sure that's a describing word. Not a verb. A verb is a doing word, that's right. Definitely an adjective, so not a noun. Okay, that's where people go first. They instantly feel trapped and like, But if I give people 10 adjectives and I say, was this compelling? Was this boring? Or was this inactive? Or was this passive for you? You're just going to go, ding, we have a winner. Okay, give people the words. Now, here's the irony. I'm asking you to write adjectives so people can tell the adjectives back to you. Okay? Trust me, it really works. Okay, and where do you get your adjectives from? Dictionary.com, thesaurus.com, blow your mind, any synonyms. Okay? No, all I ever hear from thousands of businesses around the world is, what do I say? What words do I use? Just tell me what to say. Tell me what to say. I can't do this because I don't know what to say. I can't make a video because I don't know what to say. I can't market myself because I don't know what to say. I'm telling you how to find your voice. What you do is you put those words down, you give them to someone, they circle them, they come back to you, and then you have to accept it, and you must listen. Listen to their criticism, listen to their praise. Listen to their criticism, listen to their praise. And if their criticism hurts your feelings, you're going to resist the lesson in that criticism. It's the same online. When the criticism comes, it hurts, and when it hurts, it's because it's true. Okay? And we've always had this joke, all of my friends, where whenever we're razzing each other, we always say, it's only funny because it's true. And when it hurts, we say, it's only hurting because it's true. So if it's true for you, go into you, sort that out, because that's where you're going to change. When I created my focus group, I gave them the adjectives. You'll find these adjectives in the dictionary. It's nothing new. All I want them to do is feel associated to words, so I can take these words and put them in my social media and my marketing. Give people the words to tick. It will make your life so much easier. And the weird part is this: I'm going to give you all of the words. You're going to give them back to me. And then I'm going to write my marketing and my bio and my post around the words that you told me back to me. You know, copy or writing is an incredible skill. I know Jackie Tobin sitting here in the audience from Rangefinder, and she is one of the best writers I have ever. I was reading an article she wrote recently, and I texted her and I said, that is a skill that most human beings beg for. And it's something, it's no different than a creative painter or an artist and at the highest level. If you can write something compelling, that copy edit is so rare. You're not one of those people, okay? You're just a solopreneur, technician, chief cook, bottle washer, social media expert, entrepreneur who cleans the toilet. And you're just trying to get noticed online, so find your voice, okay? Find it, get those words out, get people to tell them back at you so you can make something with them. Engagement. Did this feel personal? In your focus group, ask, did this feel like I was speaking to you as a woman, as a mother? Did this feel like I was speaking to you? No more hiding behind the camera, Mum. One day your children are going to look for photographs of you. What will they find? You are the most important person in their life. They don't care about 10 pounds. You know, one day they'll look back, they'll say, this is my mum. This was the most beautiful woman on the planet to me. And it's so powerful. You know, did you want to comment? Did it make you want to ask questions? Did it make you want to interact with me? Did it make you want to share? These are the questions you're going to ask your focus group. Okay, ask them. Relationship stories, connection. What other stories are there around this? I bet you right now, if I took you as a focal group, showed you a video, and then said, give me some ideas of other relationships I could showcase or other stories I could showcase around this, you would all give me 50 ideas on how I could create amazing videos. Why aren't we doing this for each other? But we're sitting at home going, I don't know what to say. And yet, the irony is, you do know what to say. You just need a little help, right? Ask. People buy from you when they like you. It is a simple fact, and people buy your product and service when they like your product and service. But when people like you, you become the highest value. And when you're the highest value, you become shared. People share you and share you. And people don't say, go to Bethany because you'll have the most amazing photographs. They'll say, have you met Bethany? You become a thing. You become the part of your brand that everybody wants to share. You become the story, the message, the love that everybody wants to give. And your name and your face and your presence in that video, on that social media, on that post, on that live video becomes someone of interest. And that is so powerful. I have to ask you the hardest question when you even think about marketing this product, starting your first video, starting your first slideshow, even thinking about it. Is it a good product? You can't polish a turd, right? Is it a good product? Is this a good product? Are you a good product? Because I get it, you're going to make this for me. But if you're hard to deal with, you're not a good product. If you're hard to find, you're not a good product. If you're hard to spend money with, you're not a good product. Are you a good product? I spent more time working on me. Well, actually, I spent an equal time working on me that I did mastering my craft, because I can master my craft until the cows come home. I'm the one that has to sell it. Okay, I'm the one that has to build relationships, get referrals, be seen, do the self-work. It will change your business. Are you in the way of going forward? Because if your product is not cutting it, your product's not cutting it yet, do the work to get it up. But if you're not cutting it as a product, do the work to get it up. You know, relationship building, confidence, self-respect, ownership of my path, my space, my career, and my business are the most powerful lessons you can walk towards. Ownership, relationship building, the ability to be likable. The one thing as a mentor, I can mentor thousands of businesses. I cannot make you more likable. Only you can. And only you can serve. And only you can choose to get out of the way so that you can find your voice and serve. But I tell you this, the more I found my voice, my confidence grew. Now I trust my voice. That doesn't mean I don't screw up. That doesn't mean I don't say the wrong thing. It means I know that when my voice comes out, it's going to be right. For the situation I'm in, I trust my voice. I trust myself. I am now confident in selling my business. I am now confident in sharing and selling myself. And it is so empowering for me to do that work. I think I put a lot of emphasis there because I spend a lot of time mastering my craft. And then I had this amazing product which I could not sell because I couldn't speak. I couldn't present myself on video. I didn't have the confidence. And you can change this. I want you to work on your look. I don't just mean online. I want you to work on your look. I'm not saying you need to be perfect. I'm not saying you need to be pretty. I just say work on your look. Whatever it is, whether it's quirky, whether it's classy, whether it's beautiful, work on your look. Build a set. If you're going to start doing live videos or you're going to start interacting, build a set that's interesting. Wear something interesting. Look interesting. Work on your look. If you had a producer, the first thing your producer would do for you, and anybody going on television, is let's work on you. What are you projecting in yourself? Are you confident in that look? Is it who you really are? Work on that. Work on your pitch. Work on your presentation. Do it while you're walking. Record it. Listen back to yourself. Record it on video. Post it to a private group. Record yourself on video. Show it to your networking group. Get them to do the same thing. You can all make fun of each other and ridicule each other. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And here's the weird thing. I say to businesses all the time, record yourself on video, talking about yourself and your business. Play it back to people in your network. People couldn't do it. They were crippled by this task. They would hold their camera up or their phone up and be like, and I'm like, how are you going to get clients? You've got to practice this. This is not something you just woke up and it's like, hi everybody, I'm Sue Bryce. And boy, have I got an interesting track for you today. I mean, I was the worst. And then I would be spending the whole time looking at myself on the camera and not looking in the hole. Look in the hole. Like, look in the hole. You know, don't stop looking over here because your eye line's off and look in the hole. But something amazing happens because you start to find your words first. You have your focus group, you're going to find your words. Once you get your words, you're going to start finding your story. Once you get your story, you're going to find your narrative. Once you get your narrative, you're going to get an audience. Then you're going to get their feedback. Then you're going to engage, you're going to talk to them, you're going to run polls, you're going to get feedback. You're going to learn what people want. You're going to learn what people love. You're going to take those words and then you're going to start telling a story. And before you know it, you're going to have a purpose. And that purpose is just going to flow out of you. And then you're going to lift and you're going to empower and you're going to inspire. And it's going to blow your mind. I realized I may have jumped one slide. And I'm going to go back to it because it was in the emotion, education, connection words that you're going to ask. And the reason I wanted to say is this. Elevate and empower. You know, when I said about being inspirational by adding a story, this is something that's really built my brand. And I really think you could use this in whatever you're building. Share success. All right? Stories and celebrate others. Share success stories and celebrate others. If you want to start a podcast, you're going to interview people. If you want to start live videos, you're going to talk and share people that have done the work, that are up there, that have put it out there. Share other people. There is enough to go around. Share their success stories, interview them, showcase them, because you will learn something from them. And I feel like once you learn something from them, you're home and host. It's one of the best things you can do is share. Share other people's success stories. Even in building your own brand, whether it's coaching, whatever it is, share those stories. Share the ones you've coached. Share other people who are coaches. Share everybody around you. Build an alliance with the people in your network and work with them, not against them. Okay? Work with them, not against them. It's one of the biggest things. You know, you're not competing. Trust me, I know it feels like you are, but the energy of attraction is in creation, not in competition. And once you start creating, those opportunities, those networking opportunities are just everywhere, everywhere. Stop holding back. Wake up, today or tomorrow, and just say, I'm going to stop holding myself back. Because you must know something. You know why Animoto is an incredible company? Because the founders are amazing people, and it filters down to their staff. It's in their culture, their company culture, but their intention is powerful. But the one thing Animoto do above anything else is they constantly try, test, share, and learn. Try, test, share, learn. How do you know if something's going to work until you try it? Now, you might sit there and go, I can't do this because, I can't try this because, I'll never do this because, but you must try, test, share, learn from it. Yes, you're going to get kicked in the face, but don't worry, it's usually just a bruise. You put a bit of ice in it. Next day, you go again. What did you learn? But you must try. You must test. You must share. You must try. Okay, take action, try. My first videos are terrible. One of them popped up on a marketing feed recently when I was sitting with my dad, and you could hear my voice, very distinctive Kiwi accent. My father leans over, looks at the video and goes, who's she? I look at my father and I go, it's me, 5 years ago, and he goes, oh. I said to Dad, I've come a long way. He said, yes. But you know what? I spoke when my voice quavered. I spoke when my voice trembled. And I spoke my truth. And yes, I might have looked like crap at some stage, and I might have been pulled up for my elocution, for my lack of education. I've heard every criticism under the sun, but I spoke my truth. And as I spoke my truth, my story empowered thousands of others, and I grew, and I grew, and I transformed, and the only way you will do that will be to be strong enough to try. This is the first video I ever made. I knew nothing about video. I didn't record sound because I didn't know how. Okay, truth be told, I lied then. I recorded sound, but it didn't work. I don't know why, and I still don't to this day. I knew nothing about making a video. I was on the wrong speed, so it's jerky. I handheld it because I didn't take a tripod, and I'm a photographer. So, you know, that's like the level of stupidity in this quest was beyond me. And then I recorded the voice of this guy, and it not only was bad audio, it was a bad interview, and I just couldn't use it. So instead, I took the words that he told me from the questions I asked. And I guess I had two strengths. I asked the right questions because I wanted to know the heart of his story, and I got the heart of his story, and I made this video. It won gold in a national competition way back when, 2010. It was the first video I ever made. And I think you'll understand the power of a basic narrative when you find the right words. The best part about that video was he built that 8x10 camera from the steps of his father's building that was torn down. He built it with his hands, and he died 1 year later. He developed that image in his own darkroom, and watching that process was incredible. And I wish I had the power to go back to do that again with the skill that I have now, because now I'm unable to tell that story. And that made me feel something. And that is why I make videos.
Please help me thank Sue Bright one more time. Thank you so much. Man. Literally 1 minute ago, I was feeling so proud because I was like, this is going to be the first time I make it through a Super Ice thing without showing up. And then she shows that video. All right, so before we wrap up, I just want to ask you guys a few questions. If you feel like you've learned something today, raise your hand. Okay. If you feel like maybe you got your butt kicked just a little bit today, at some point of today, raise your hand. Okay. If you feel like that you are slightly more empowered to walk out of this room and change something about how you run your business, about how you market your business, about how you think about social media, how you think about video, raise your hand. All right. So listen, if you just walk out of here thinking, oh, that was interesting, I feel like that we failed with this whole effort. If you walk out of here and just change one thing about how you run your business, then we've been successful here. So there's two things that I want to remind you of before we wrap up. Number one is, so we have a Facebook community called the Social Video Marketing Communities on Facebook. So it's a great place where, we're going to have all this content from the summit there. You can actually, if you're experimenting with videos and you just want some feedback, you can upload those videos there and get some safe feedback from other community members or from folks at Animoto. You can ask whatever questions you want. And we have something special that we just posted there. It's with the holidays coming up, we put together something we're calling our holiday playbook, basically. It's a playbook packed with everything from strategy tips to ideas for holiday videos just for you, so you can go there and find that. So the second thing I just wanted to remind you is, so Sally mentioned earlier that if you go to animoto.com/promo, there is a special 25% discount for Animoto professional plans, so go and check that out. So that is what we have, everyone. We thank you so much for being here. We want to thank our speakers. We want to thank you guys for being here. We want to thank everyone who is watching. I hope you guys walk out of here feeling empowered and just with the knowledge of just changing something about how you're going to run your business. And with that, I just say, happy video building. Thank you for being here.